Hi Year 4, so today we've got chapter 26 of When the Mountains Roared. And if you remember in the last chapter, Ruby and Praveen had fallen out because she told Praveen that she'd seen his cousin with the poachers in the mountains, and he thought it was a lie, so he was really upset with her, and then the storm came and blew everything away from their shrine, and there was lightning and thunder, and Ruby felt that this was the mountain being angry at the poachers and what was happening, so she felt it was a type of punishment. Okay, so chapter 26, stalking. Let's find out what happens next after the storm. Early that evening, Toad pops into the kitchen. I've been sitting at the table thinking about how I can prove what I know. I scowl at him from behind my mug of hot chocolate. Dad looks up from the chopping board where he's cutting up potatoes and greets him warily. Some people are coming to pick up a package tonight or early tomorrow morning from the cabin, Toad says to Dad. We'll be there, but point them in the right direction if they stop here first, will you? Of course, replies Dad. I slip away from the kitchen. I want to see what this package is and who is collecting it. It could be proof. I grab my backpack and fill it with binoculars, a torch, my raincoat and some snacks. Next I pack my tent and strap it to the backpack. Then I stash it all under the bed. After dinner I tell Dad and Grandma I'm tired and hug them both good night. Remember the film stars arriving the day after tomorrow, says Grandma. I know, I reply before heading up the stairs. Joey bounces towards me when I reach my room, trying to jump up in the backpack. Not now, I whisper, stroking her fur. I kiss her forehead. I'll be back soon. I stuff my bed with pillows to make it look like I'm sleeping and slip out of the front door, letting it gently click shut behind me. I have to wait a second for my eyes to adjust to the night's blackness. I think of all the things the dark is hiding. The green lights, the bears, the ghosts. Now I've more things ever to be afraid of. Even with my torch, the dark presses on me and suddenly I feel faint. For a while there is nothing. Then I wake up in darkness. I turn to Mum and see that her eyes are closed. I shake her gently, for she doesn't wake. I try to open the car door, but it's jammed. Mum's phone's on the floor. With shaky hands I reach down and pick it up. The screen is splintered into a million pieces. I press the power button. Please turn on, I say to myself, fighting down rising panic. A black light glows and I let out my breath. I ring an ambulance and talk to the operator, and all the while I'm staring at Mum, sleeping next to me. The metal of the car frame is dented and caved in around us. I don't think I'm hurt, but I wouldn't know. My whole body feels numb. The operator tells me not to move Mum. He asks me to stay on the phone, but Dad's face flashes through my mind and I tell him I have to speak to Dad. Then I ring Dad. My voice breaks as soon as I hear his. He stays on the phone as I hold Mum's hand and whisper, I'm here, it's all going to be fine. I never take my eyes off the slight rise and fall of her chest. Sirens wail in the distance. All that matters is Mum and making sure she's all right. Mum's face dissolves into the night around me. I reach out a hand against the door to steady myself and breathe deeply. Okay, darkness, I whisper, I'll make a deal with you. Keep me safe tonight and I'll never be afraid of you again. I take one step and wait for something to happen. It doesn't. I take another and another until I'm running towards the trees and the cabin. I clutch my necklace to my chest. Long shadows quiver and leaves rustle as I pass. I move silently and quickly through the forest, not looking back. Just get there, I say to myself over and over again. I reach the cabin and position myself to the side of it, off the path and out of sight. Holding the torch between my teeth, I set up the tent and place it so it's hidden behind ferns. I gather some more leaves and arrange them on top to camouflage it. I climb inside and lie on my stomach, checking with the binoculars that I have a clear path to the cabin. After getting my camera ready, all that's left is to wait. I cup my chin in my hands, propping myself up. The only sounds are my breathing and the toot-toot bird. Adrenaline shoots through my body, and I become aware of my own smell amongst the earth and pine. What would I smell like to a leopard? The thought should terrify me, but as I rest my head against my arm and listen to the jungle moving around me, I find the sounds comforting and feel safe. I wake to voices and jerk upright. I fell asleep. That wasn't part of the plan. The sky is showing the first signs of lightness. I must have been asleep for hours. A woman and a man are approaching the cabin. She has a lime green scarf wrapped around her head. They're both dressed smartly, not in trekking clothes like the man who took the clawt in. As they get near, I take some pictures. The light isn't good, but as the cabin door swings open, I manage to get a hazy image. Then the bosses greet them, and they go inside. I wait for them to reappear for an age, watching through the camera. Eventually they emerge carrying a bulky package wrapped up in a brown paper. Stinger comes running out after them with a big backpack, and they carefully slide the package inside it. A corner of the brown paper rips, and for a second I swear I see yellow material with spots on. I gasp. I have to see what's in that package. It could be my only chance to prove they're poaching. I remember meeting the leopard's green eyes with my own. I have to do everything I can to protect it. I crawl out of the tent as quietly as I can and follow the man and woman all the way down the mountain. It's dawn now, and orange clouds streak across the sky. The rain has brought out the slugs. They cover the path down from the mountain and are the biggest I've ever seen. I step over a squashed light brown one and have to stop and take deep breaths for a second. In town, they head towards the train station. It's busy, but I keep sight of the lime green scarf and follow it. They step onto the train of the platform. I hesitate for a second and then make my decision. I duck down and weave my way through everyone to the train. Holding my breath, I jump through the door onto the carriage. I quickly walk to the end coach, feeling eyes on me. Every seat is taken. Some people are sitting on the floor. A whistle blows, and the train slowly chugs forward. My goodness me, where is Ruby going to end up? Well, it's certainly an exciting one. So she's a very brave girl, isn't she, Ruby, really? She knows that something's not right, and she wants to find out what it is. And she wants to get evidence as well for what she thinks is happening so that she can stop it. And she overcomes one of her biggest fears. Because if you remember, in the car accident with her, when her mum died, it gave her this real fear of the dark, didn't it? So when she's going out on this evening to try and get evidence and to try and prove what's going on and putting a stop to it, she has to overcome that really big fear of darkness. And it makes her go back to that night and the car accident and makes her think it through. But that gives her a strength, really, knowing that, I think that sense of feeling that her mum is with her, and actually thinking that maybe darkness could protect her and stop them from seeing her, and it will hide her, won't it, and hopefully keep her safe and protect her. So she really overcomes a lot in her belief of what's right and what's wrong, and doing the right thing. So join me for the next chapter to find out what happens to Ruby and where she ends up on this train. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed tonight's read, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and finding out what happens next. Okay, thank you, year 4. Bye.